Welcome to the Steelers Realm Podcast. And now, here are the boys of Steelers Realm.
Hey, Steeler Nation, welcome back to another episode of Steelers Realm Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, as always, JT, bringing it to you. Hope you guys had a great holiday weekend. We get the triple threat going again this week. Joining me, obviously, co-host CJ is on the other side of things. What's going on, brother? How was your fourth, man?
I can't complain. Ate a lot of hot dogs, a lot of hamburgers, and then ended it with a tomahawk steak, which, quite frankly, was amazing.
Tomahawk steak?
Yes. So it's a ribeye. It's a ribeye, but they leave the extra foot of bone on it. Right? It looks exactly like a tomahawk.
Okay, and I know what you're talking about. We
cooked it. We did a reverse sear, right? Started off in the oven for 40 to 45 minutes. Throw it on a Blackstone to kind of crust it up. Then we let it sit for 5 minutes. Best thing I've eaten this year so far. If anyone wants to, anyone out there, any listeners want to know how exactly we did it, I'd be happy to help you out. But it was amazing.
Nice. Well, hey, over on the other side of the river and the other side of the border, Freight Train joining us tonight, brother. What's going on, man? How was your fourth weekend? Anything special? What'd you do?
Hey, fellas. I myself also have a Blackstone grill, but I don't have that CJ money, baby. I had to stick with the OGs, burgers and dogs.
There you go.
What am I doing wrong? But hey, glad to be back, Steelers Nation. It was a good little break there for that one day. I greased the wheels. I'm ready to roll down the tracks.
I tell you what, I would love nothing more than to shout out the butcher I got it from. But hey, no free ads here. It's Steelers Realm Podcast.
However, we can work something out.
I tell you what, I would take 3 more of those tomahawk steaks and return to shout them out.
Wouldn't be that guy down the road for me, would it?
It is. It's very much.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna have to send a text. Anyhow, yeah. So, hey guys, good to be back with you again. I was pretty pumped, man. I was able to get my tickets for training camp, our tickets for training camp, I should say. And I'm gonna write to the school and see if I can't get them to set us some in the call. We'll call or mail them back to us. Tough to get down there, even though it's 40 minutes away. But anyhow, yeah, we got our date set. And it looks like I'm going to go ahead and break the news. We'll post this out there too. We are going to be at Friday Night Lights. That's coming up August 5th at 7 p.m. at Latrobe Memorial Stadium in Latrobe, Pennsylvania, where the Steelers will be under the lights, man. And right at your fingertips to watch. If you can make it, it's a great. I know people come from all over to see that. And then Saturday, the following Saturday, we'll be at training camp on St. Vincent campus. It'll be great to be back there again, guys. I'm so looking forward to that. Plus, we'll all 4 of us will be in the same place as one. And I think even the Boy Wonder is going to be joining us Friday night too. So it's going to be a great weekend. We're looking forward to it.
How great is it, guys? You know, they've been in Pittsburgh the last 2 years with COVID and all that. As fans, to go to Latrobe, JT and I, 40-minute drive, very little traffic, very open space, get back to St. Vincent's College, and just kind of hang out, watch some practices, stuff like that. And for you listeners out there, I kind of wrote a blog about what it means from the team standpoint that is much more important. Feel free to go to the Steelers Realm, click on blogs, give it a look. kind of broke it down what it means to spend that time together, as a team. These are grown-ass men sharing dorm rooms again.
That's
learning
right.
about
old school. And the last time they were there, sadly, in 2019, they lost their wide receivers coach, Dale Drake. Very, very, right.
very sad. Right. So keep that in mind, but I'm excited. I hope you two are excited, and I hope all the fans are excited to get back, Chuck Noll Field one more time.
Yes. And, I had a chance to visit a few retailers down there, a few restaurant managers along the way, having chats with them too. And I can tell you the whole community is just excited for things to get back to normal too. So that is freaking amazing, man. I just can't wait. We've been wanting to do this for 2 years. So believe me, Steelers Nation, we're going to be sharing that with you. And we hope to meet up with all of you between Friday night and Saturday when we're down there. So
yeah, JT, I'm hearing we might be able to pull off a special one of these days at one of these local bars down there.
Well, yeah,
we're going to have to confirm with TA, but
yeah,
I think it'd be cool to do something.
Yeah, certainly would. Well, it's in the works. Like I said, I made some visits and we have some things cooking. So keep an ear out for that, Steelers Nation. But while we work on that too, we've got a couple other surprises up our sleeve too, and some other people have mentioned they'd like to come back on with us too. So looking forward to announcing some of those names coming up and some confirmed dates rather. So, but anyhow, a little bit of tease, a lot to get into today. Couple great ideas from our writers here at Steelers Realm Podcast. So, anyhow, without getting too far ahead of it, stick around. We got a lot in store for you. We're going to let's kick it off the Jagoff of the week, which I think we all have had our heads out of the sand for at least 5 minutes this week. We all know who this week's Jagoff of the week probably is. So I'll just leave it at that and let you guys roll with that.
Well, would it be anybody else but the Cleveland Browns? I mean, come on.
Of course not.
The ongoing comedy of the Cleveland Browns, the yearly comedy, the Browns are just going to be the Browns. And boy, they essentially gave away their first overall selection 2 years ago for pretty much nothing.
I tell you what,
fifth round pick.
This organization, Jimmy Haslam. This is the message to Jimmy Haslam. The only way the Browns fans will forgive you, take all your truck stops that you own, drop your gas prices by at least $1. That's the only way they're going to forgive you. I think Jimmy Haslam's the worst owner in pro sports. I would take Bob Nutting over this guy. I can't believe what they did. Now, and to make it worse, they did this themselves, right? Baker Mayfield was the only quarterback that has won them a playoff game, right?
True.
In the last, since 1994, correct?
Yeah.
And they beat their arch nemesis, us, the Steelers, in that game. He turned a franchise that was featuring Q Brown, Butch Jones, just crud. Eric Mangini, for Christ's sakes. And he won them a playoff game. Now, I'm not saying Baker's the best quarterback out there, but he wanted to go out there and win. And you know what? He had his little incident there at Oklahoma. Nice little public drunkenness. But other than that, outside of that, since he's gone to the NFL, you haven't heard any legal issues, right? You keep hearing he's immature, but when you ask people why he's immature, no one knows, right? They just revert back to his Oklahoma celebrations. Yeah, he's a little cocky, but you know what? That man just wants to go out there and win football games. Is he the best quarterback? No. Is he an average quarterback? Yeah. But you just traded for a sexual predator. So you have no moral compass to stand on. So not only are they Jagoff of the week, I'm going to name them shit stains of the week, which we will get into Monday.
So they got both sides of their underwear covered.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing. Okay. With an organization that is historically known for losing, you brought in somebody that has won every single place that he's been at. You know, he didn't necessarily get to do much at Texas Tech, but he transferred to Oklahoma and turned into a Heisman winner and won. And then he comes to this organization, takes them to the playoffs, you know, has them on a winning mentality, and you essentially give them away for right now. It's the unknown. You don't know when Deshaun Watson's coming back.
Exactly.
And Baker was the first quarterback in 30 attempts to bring the franchise a playoff win since 1994. 30 attempts. And he does it in year 2. So,
I tell you what, both these franchises, the Panthers. So now you have the first pick in the 2018 draft, the third pick in the 2018 draft. Matt Rule's out there just trying to save his ass. Not only did they trade up for Corral out of Ole Miss, right? They're just stacking quarterbacks, praying. They're throwing shit at a wall at this point. This guy's trying to save his job. Temper, the new owner, which I give him a pass. Nah, he's worse than Jimmy Haslam. Both these franchises are just they're kind of in flux, honestly. Carolina continues to just trade for journeyman quarterbacks, which I don't understand. If you trust in Matt Rule, right, as a coach, you're going to let him develop Corral. Let him play. It just there's something weird going on in Carolina. The Browns are going to brown. What are you going to do? It just doesn't make sense to me.
Cleveland South.
Hey, they took themselves to the Super Bowl this time. We'll leave it at that.
Well,
yeah.
I tell you what, 30 attempts. Boy, I had the most wonderful time during my off time on the Steelers realm. Because I tell you what, it only took one attempt with my lawnmower package, my performance package 4.0. You know, I was feeling kind of sluggish. You know, the train just wasn't coming down the rails with speed. And boy, I put that puppy to use, and the rails were greased. I tell you what, Manscaped, Steelers realm, Steelers nation, Manscaped is the real deal. If you don't have Manscaped, what are you doing with your life? So get out here, use Realm 20, and get 20% off and free worldwide shipping. You have nothing to lose. It's only going to help you. I'm telling you, I came in with a full head of steam, and it turned me into, I went from a steam locomotive to one of them new powerful diesel trains.
Turbo diesel, baby.
Oh my goodness. The speed and aerodynamics.
The silver streak. The silver streak.
Yes. It's the real deal, Steelers realm.
You're completely right. I couldn't agree more with you, Freight Train. I have sources telling me that Josh Dobbs, Cleveland Browns starter week 1, shaves his head with Manscaped products. That's how good it is.
Oh, no.
That's how good it is.
Well, we're going to need to see some confirmation on that.
Nope. Sources say I will never tell my sources, but they're telling me that.
That's awesome, guys. Hey, well, you know, Manscaped was obviously, you know, they're helping us out for promoting their products, but, you know, help us out too a little bit. Hey, they sent us a sample package. That's all we asked for, right? Right, guys?
Yeah.
Right.
Just send us your stuff, man. So, you know, we got it. We got the lawnmower. We got the weed whacker. We have the special balm and some other nice little products there too. Nice little package, pair of boxers, t-shirt. So, they hook us up. Check it out, guys. Go around. Go up, manscaped.com. If you find something you like out there, just make sure to use Realm 20. And there you go. That'll give you 20% off plus free shipping. So appreciate it, guys. Get you Manscaped. And you know what? The ladies like it too.
Oh, yeah. Most definitely.
I mean, has any lady ever complimented you on your bush? No, they have not. Come on. Let's get with the times.
No bush. No bush. Greased lightning, baby.
Grease lightning. The silver streak.
There you go. Taking it the whole way to Canton. Speaking of which, you know who's heading there, guys? I'm excited about this. I saw this. I'm like, no shit. No shit. Joe Gordon getting recognized in Canton, Ohio. Anybody know who Joe Gordon is? Anybody that's been around since the Chuck Noll era, happened to be signed the same year as the media guru for the Steelers, Joe Gordon, being recognized at Canton. So what are they calling that award? Is honors? Some kind of what's the actual title that they're honoring them?
It's the award of excellence. And there's only 20 recipients. And honestly, and 2 Steelers actually are receiving it. Tony Parisi is also receiving the award, who was a longtime equipment manager.
Okay.
So both these guys absolutely excelled at what they did. The best of the best, well-deserved. And it goes without saying that this organization simply hires the best people, and they stick around for a long time. Joe Gordon was there for, 29 years?
Yes.
29 years. Yeah, he was hired the same year as Chuck Noll, 1969, and stayed there through 98. I mean, imagine how many, wow.
The amount of Hall of Famers and all-time great Steelers that he got to work with. I mean, that's a dream job right there, and he excelled. I mean, I don't even think excelled is the word to give it.
Well, I look at Joe Gordon, and you look at the time that he worked, right? When he started, the steel mills were bustling. The population centers in Pittsburgh were thriving. People were moving to Pittsburgh, right? And you look at when he left, it was after the steel mill era. People were leaving Pittsburgh, right?
The Renaissance.
Yet he found a way to keep those people through what he did engaged in Pittsburgh with the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's why you see terrible towels and what he did in away games and how you always hear, well, Steelers fans travel well. Well, they don't. They've been displaced. And you know what? Joe Gordon's the reason that he's kept those people engaged with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And his work should be recognized in Canton, and I'm happy that it is.
Yeah, no doubt. And something else about Joe was that he was a huge proponent of none other than Bill Nunn to get his recognition and due as a Hall of Fame nominee, and his wish came true as well, too. So huge Bill Nunn supporter as well. So if you guys don't know who Bill Nunn is, he was responsible for recruiting some of those smaller black colleges and digging out players from there. Responsible for just so much of the Steelers roster over those early years, over those years. Just a great story. As a matter of fact, he talks about him on one of our exclusive episodes. Early on, we had the luxury of having a chat with Joe. We're like, hey, Joe, would you mind joining us on a phone call? He jumped on the phone. We called him up. We got him on the podcast. And you know what? He spent an entire hour with us. And guys, you have to check it out. If you haven't heard this, you'll see there's a lot of premonition in this of things that were going to happen in the future that he talks about. That it's just it brings chills to go back and listen to it. So it's season 2, episode 17, outta Scroll through the listen down into our episodes. It is from 2020, right, Michael? I think we jotted that down. Yeah, 2020, like in the July range. So just look for it's in the title. Joe Gordon, one of the rare interviews you'll hear. I don't know if I've caught anything else in the last several years from him too. So honored to have him on there, and it was a great interview. And it's funny too, guys. Right at the end, it was like he must have had a timer going, because we're looking at the clock and it's coming up on 60 minutes. And just about then he was like, all right, boys, hey, thanks for being on there and good luck with your show. And click. That was it. So we asked for an hour. Joe gave us an hour. So what a guy, man. And still to this day, no computer, no smartphone. Still has to push the buttons on his. I wouldn't doubt he probably had a rotary phone by his chair when we talked to him. But yeah, great stuff, guys. And man, what an honor to have him on there.
Absolutely.
Sorry, had to expand on that one a little bit. Yeah, guy from the radio station actually kind of connected us. So very cool, very cool. So anyhow, let's get into game. We're talking about camp, so we're working our way towards that. Obviously, running this series on Steelers Realm podcast, a camp competition, and this week, CJ, who we doing this week?
We got linebackers this week, right? Nice. So obviously, we got a new middle linebacker, Miles Jack. Choose our skippers back. Then we got Devin Bush, Alex Highsmith, Buddy Johnson, JT Eulis. We got a bunch of familiar faces. And in my opinion, while they might be familiar faces, I think we're going to see them used very differently than what we saw them last year.
You know what? I'm not surprised at that. You know, a name I've been hearing a lot lately too, and I'm probably getting ahead of myself here too, but Buddy Johnson.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting to see how they utilize this, guys. I think we saw it last year with Melvin Ingram. Yes, he was an outside linebacker, but very early on in pass rushing situations, they would put him in the middle, right? And you saw that, and he was very effective at it when the nose tackles were healthy, right? When his production dipped was when the defensive linemen were starting to go out early. So it'll be interesting to see exactly what the plan is. Obviously, we got Brian Flores in. We got a new defensive coordinator. But I'm really excited about this group. I think this is the position group where the Steelers have the most depth. Obviously, you have the best linebacker in the NFL and TJ Watt. But I am still so high on Alex Highsmith. I think his development year after year has continued to grow. I'm expecting great things out of him. And you know what? I'm going to say this now. I've been reading more and more about ACL injuries and linebackers and how they talk about their first year back. They struggle with instincts. I think with Devin Bush last year, we really saw him in kind of that guessing mode, right?
No doubt.
He would guess this hole. He would guess that hole, so on and so forth. More than often, he was wrong.
Right. And that I wanted to touch on that as well. I don't think he played with any instincts at all last year. And that ACL tear definitely knocked him down a notch. I feel like he played like he didn't trust his own body and kind of held the reins back. This year, I think them not picking up his option definitely piqued his need to perform if he wants a second contract, at least with this organization. But if he can just get back to playing with the instincts, his speed and athleticism that we saw his rookie year, he can be a difference maker, because your linebackers are essentially, to me anyhow, are like the drums in a band. Without the drums, you have no band. With our defense, we need those linebackers. We cannot have Minka Fitzpatrick leading the team in tackles again. Okay, that's just not going to – you can't thrive like that.
No.
Okay. Now that they added Miles Jack to the other side of him, I feel like you almost have that James Ferrier, Larry Foote combination again.
Yeah, let's not go that far.
There is
Let's not take it
potential.
that far.
There's potential.
There is potential,
Okay.
but Larry Foote, when he came in, first off, Devin Bush has never even performed at the Larry Foote level. When Ferrier came over from the Jets, he was a beast. He was a known commodity, right? The Jets just didn't value him enough because they played in a 4-3 defense, right? So their two interior defensive linemen swallowed everything up. It's a little different. I'm not trying to jump on you right now, but I do think, as you said, there is potential to kind of be that way, but I don't see it yet. Wake me up week 8 when they're causing havoc.
We do have that potential because Miles Jack is proven. He's like that James Ferrier. He was an all-pro and a Pro Bowler at Jacksonville, and he's coming over here. Now, mind you, this is a completely different defensive scheme. This isn't Keith Butler anymore. This is, you're going to have Terrell Austin's fingerprints on it and Brian Flores' fingerprints on it. Okay. There's not going to be that zone defense anymore, I think. They're going to be able to play to their abilities a little bit more. And, I mean, the way Devin Bush played his rookie season, if he can get that back, we could very easily have the best linebacking core in football. Very easily.
Yeah, we're working towards that. But I will say this. I don't know if I go that far, Freight Train, but I will say this, that I think it's a do or die year for Devin Bush, and he knows it. So it's put up or shut up. And I think there's another player on the other side of the ball. It's in the same situation, but we'll be getting into that later. But on a positive note is that I do like Miles Jack signing this year. One of my favorite off-season moves, in my opinion. I'm just hoping that he lives up to my expectations along with Steeler Nation. We need that edge rusher guy too. We need that middle linebacker that can drop into we need that, what he can bring.
Well, he adds that veteran presence in a very, very young group. Okay, yeah, TJ's been around for a little while. He's not that old, though. But Miles can take a little bit off the plate from Devin and just let the man play.
Do you guys think there's a chance that week 1 we are seeing Miles Jack is a starting middle inside linebacker, and they make an adjustment to a 4-3? Because I think we would all agree that our interior defensive line has more depth than our middle linebacker position. I would that's an argument that I would make.
It depends where these younger guys are going to play. You got Spillane, who's strictly a middle linebacker. Okay.
I think it's going to come down to a numbers game. I think you're going to see a little more variations in the defense. You're going to see, 3 down linemen sometime, 5 the next. We kind of, like I said, we kind of saw it last year early on when everyone was healthy. We were lining up Ingram in the middle, right? I do think there's a chance if Devin Bush comes into camp out of shape, I think you might see someone like a Spillane right next to Miles Jack week 1. And that's what I tell you what, I think we're going to know in the first week of camp whether Devin Bush wants to be Devin Bush wants.
Is that his new name?
It's a wish.
Devin
Bush wants to be an NFL football player. We're going to know within the first week of camp if he comes in fully in shape. I don't want to see him overweight. I don't want to hear stupid crap about cats falling out of trees. I want to see this man fully focused on playing NFL football for the first time in his career since they wasted draft picks trading up for him.
Ooh.
Shots fired.
CJ. Across the bow. Of course, we're not letting up on Devin Bush until he
listen, he's the highest draft pick that the Steelers have had since, I believe it's 01. I don't know the exact date, but Big Ben was the second in 04.
Mm-hmm.
When he went 11th. This was the first time that the Steelers have had a top 10 pick, and I want to say 23 years.
When you look at his first body of work, his rookie year, do you think he was worth that draft pick, CJ?
I was never fully bought into him based on his size as a middle linebacker. I thought he was always a little short.
That doesn't mean size doesn't mean a lot.
Yes, it does.
If you're a good,
you have to cover 6'5" tight ends in 2022 over the middle of the field, and you're 5'11", it certainly does matter.
There's been some pretty good middle linebackers that were considered small and ended up in the Hall of Fame. It's all about your instincts.
Give me three.
Ray Lewis is one who was considered
Wasn't
small
he
and
6'2"?
undersized. He was considered small. And
was he 5'11"?
Well, we'll have to look that up, but I do know that he was considered small. You know,
I'm just saying, if you know, I get it. I just
you have to have good football instincts. You have to be a smart football player at the middle linebacker position. Let's see if he takes it to that next level. Is he serious enough about his profession? And early reports in camp seems a little bit better than what they were the previous year. So let's see if he proves his doubters wrong, like CJ.
I would love nothing better. Ray Lewis was 6'1". I was off by an inch. And if you ask women, an inch means a lot.
Right. Yeah.
They say size doesn't matter.
No, I think the linebacker position is going to be very interesting just because the fact that they decline his 5th-year option. I believe he's going to make a comeback. From the start, I never liked the draft pick, honestly, based on his height. I think if you're going to be a middle linebacker, you have to have some size to cover. In a 3-4 defense, you have to be able to cover tight ends. 5'11", it's automatically a mismatch against any above-average tight end. Because most tight ends nowadays are 6'4" to 6'6", sometimes even bigger. It was always my biggest question mark with him. I hope he proves me wrong, because if he proves me wrong, that Steelers front seven is going to be nasty.
Yeah, that's what I mean. If he comes back to the Devin Bush that we know, we very, very well have the best linebacking tandem, well, the whole system in football.
I think we all agree that I think we all agree we're going to see Watt, we're going to see Highsmith, we're going to see Jack, and more than likely Devin Bush is our 4th starter at the linebacker position, correct?
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. I'll leave it at that, and we can move on.
JT, what do you think?
No doubt. I was just kind of thinking there out in space a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. everything keeps pointing to training camp, guys. And I can't say one way or the other than, I'm excited to see what this Buddy Johnson's all about, how he contributes. I'm excited to see just how camp thing starts to play out. I don't know what that was there, but yeah, I think I think if he's not, I think the rope is getting shorter. Obviously, he knows where he's at. I hope it, guys. We'll know when we go down there and watch backs on backers and those kind of drills. We'll know.
Like I said, I think we'll know after 1 week whether he wants to be an NFL football player or he's cool just collecting that rookie contract and packing it up.
Mm-hmm.
All righty. Well, yeah, I'm saying there. I danced around the question a little bit, but as far as starting, I think you see Bush and Jack back there, and Highsmith and TJ on the outside. But I think I agree. I think you're going to see a little bit different utilization. There's a name that didn't get tossed around, that's Derek Tuscott. I'm sure TA has a better pronunciation of his last name too. But we'll see what he has to bring. Was last year his rookie year, or was he brought in?
No, and in 2020 he was a 7th round pick for Denver, so he's entering his third year, I believe. Right. Third year. Still relatively young at 24, and guess what? He's a middle linebacker with size, 6'5", 240.
He played a little bit of the outside last year too.
I thought he moved around a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So here's another. Okay, now I guess this is linebacker related. So what do you think? Bringing in Okunjobi and Highsmith, going to school, like former classmates, reuniting them. Do you think that sparks anything there?
I mean, I think, you know what, I'm just going to say it. I don't think it matters much at all. I think it's great for the old program that they played for. It was a great recruiting moment for them. Other than that, no, I'm kidding. I think it's going to be cool for someone like Highsmith, who's been here for a few years, to bring in someone that he knows who, listen, they took Highsmith as an early pick. In your guys' opinion, on a scale of 1 to 10, how impressed have you been with Highsmith so far?
I'm probably at I would say a 7 or an 8. There was some good games that he had there last year. You really thought he was really turning it on, and then he would kind of turn off
disappear.
Disappear.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If we can get that consistency from him, even from his side, I would a 10 sack season to a 12 sack season. I'd be ecstatic.
Yeah. Does that remind you anybody else? Kind of start off a little slow, or not quite? I would agree. I would go 7, no higher than 8. But I think a lot of upside, using a Tomlinism there.
Mm-hmm.
Does that remind you anybody? Who else started off slow over there?
James
who do you
Harrison?
replace? No, who do you replace?
I'm trying to think here.
Buddy.
Buddy who?
Bud.
Oh, Bud Dupree.
And to go back to your further point, if Charlotte head coach Bud Healy would love to come on the show and talk about his 2 products that's now on the Steelers, we'd love to have him on.
There you go, CJ. Reach out, man. Drop my text.
I'll text him tonight.
You got his personal cell, don't you?
I'm pretty sure he actually is a Western Pennsylvania native.
Oh yeah.
Don't Don't fact check.
He's the
that,
answer.
though.
He's the answer.
I'm pretty sure he is.
That's cool too. Well, hey guys, we're getting to be about that time. You know what time it is.
And now it's time for Steelers Realms History Forged in Steel.
All right, Steelers Nation, I'm back in the saddle once again. We'll start off July 24th, 1984. Terry Bradshaw retired after 14 years with the Steelers. And some people might not realize this, but Terry was the first quarterback in NFL history to win not one, not two, not three, but 4 Super Bowls. And then, yeah. He had some, a little bit of a rough path with Chuck there, but hey.
You could say that.
Yeah. And then September 27th, 1933, we won our first game as a franchise and concluded with a score of 14-3. I bet you that was a hell of a game.
What game? Hey, by the way, TA couldn't join us tonight, but you guys remember that? I don't know if it was like a dark forest green hat with just the same color. What do I want to say? Stitching with the 33 on it. Do you guys remember that hat at all? If you see one, get it for him. Don't tell him we told you so. But that's what that represents.
Let's check to see if he's listening. If he's actually going to listen to it tonight.
Yeah.
Good call. But yeah, so what game was it that year? Do you remember? Do you know? Like how far into the season did it take them for their first win?
I want to say it said like the 3rd or 4th game of the season.
Be interesting to look that up too.
Yeah,
because I know it was the early years were rough ones.
Boy, they were. Absolutely.
And
now it's time for Steelers Realms History Forged in Steel.
And last one up. Here's the big one. April 24th, 2004. Everybody's favorite day. The Steelers selected Ben Roethlisberger with the 11th overall pick. Talk about an infamous day.
It certainly was. Big Ben Day.
Before we do get into Big Ben Day, just kind of to go back and talk about the Terry Bradshaw Chuck Noll situation. There's a great documentary that came out this winter, and I urge anyone that can to watch it. It's called Going Deep. It's on HBO. It's about an hour and a half documentary. Talks about all the things that Terry Bradshaw did starting in college, going to the Steelers, his struggles, his mental health, his divorces. Like, he really went into it and he broke it down, and you saw a different side of Terry that you see on Fox each and every day. It's one of the my dad and I watched it together this year, and it's something that shows the human side of one of the greatest quarterbacks in Pittsburgh Steelers history, if not the greatest. I mean, there's only 2 to choose from, but
yeah, it was really good. I watched that.
Yeah,
it's
an HBO,
a lot of insight.
Right? HBO.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Check it out. I think you might even be able to find it out on YouTube out there somewhere.
Yeah, you can find it a lot of places. I just, let's give HBO their credit, which brings us to Big Ben Day, 7-7. You want to break it down, JT?
7-7. So we decided we call it Big Ben Day. I like it.
Big Ben Day, baby.
Yeah, man. He finished his career 5th all time in passing yards. Is it 5th all time of all quarterbacks?
Yes.
Wow. 5th in completions, 8th in touchdowns. Also passed for 500 plus yards in a game 4 times. Weren't 2 of those games back to back too, as I recall. Is that correct?
Yeah,
I think I was at one of those games too. But yeah, next closest was Drew Brees with 2 500+ yard games. So yeah, so I love the idea. When we said about Big Ben Day and kind of celebrating the guy, looking back, man, there's so many moments that stick out to each and every one of us. But Freight Train, you threw it out there to everybody. It's like, what do you think about picking out your favorite time, favorite Ben Roethlisberger moment, favorite Big Ben moment?
I think my biggest Big Ben moment, and it kind of showed his character of his whole career, was that game against the Ravens where Haloti Ngata broke his nose. And Big Ben puts the team on his back. I think it was in the fourth quarter. They got a little 9-yard touchdown pass there at the end. They end up winning the game. He plays the whole game, and the doctor said his nose looked like cornflakes because it was so shattered. And I'm telling you what, the absolute toughness. There's a lot of things that I wouldn't do with a broken nose, and playing football is definitely one of them that I would not do. And it was just every single week, it felt like there was something new that he did, that he just had that wow factor about how he played the position. It was something different, his Houdini acts. And he emphasized, he really brought the Pittsburgh attitude to the way that he played the position, and he embodied it.
I think he completely changed what it meant to be a mobile quarterback, right? He would scramble around. He would avoid sacks. He would do this. He would do that. He would extend plays. And then next thing you know, he's hitting on Mike Wallace, the Santonio Holmes, and Antonio Brown. You name them, he hit them, man, for a touchdown or a splash play. Obviously, I'm discounting the Super Bowl throw to Santonio Holmes. Obviously, in my childhood, in my life, that's the greatest play I've seen from Big Ben. But two kind of stuck out to me. Green Bay, down 6, 1 play left. Mike Wallace, pylon, walk-off touchdown, right? Right before half against the Cowboys, he's scrambling around. He pumps to the left. He pumps to the right. He looks again. He spins out of a sack. Next thing you know, Heath Miller's there to the right sideline, hits him, touchdown right before half. Man, Big Ben was my quarterback growing up as a kid. Can't really complain about that. And anyone that wants to say anything differently, you're a dumbass.
You can kick rocks. Kick rocks. That's our quarterback.
Yeah. So, Mrs. JT even said that too. She's like, man, as we were kind of like looking back, she's like, man, I'm pretty lucky to be able to bear witness to see all these years of having a quarterback like that. I'm like, yeah, I know what it was like. Because I started watching the Terry Bradshaw era, and then went through the 90s, the Kent Grahams and the Bubby Bristers and Mike Tomczaks, which weren't always all that bad, but yeah, to have the opportunity to see the man get drafted and then put his mark in the Steelers and the NFL history books, definitely first ballot Hall of Famer, no doubt. But I have to say my favorite moment was how it all started, really. Even draft night. I think his agent, everybody thought he was going to New York. He slips down. Steelers didn't think they were going to draft him. Ended up taking him. And then, under Cowher, I'm sure the plan was not to start for him to be playing as the starter, not the starter, but the head quarterback in week 2 back in 2004. But I think that was, a memorable moment for me too.
What a wild ride that year was.
It really was. And I mean, that game itself, it was a rival, game 2 of the season, a rival against Baltimore. It was the first of the 2 games. Tommy Maddox at quarterback ends up getting knocked out of the game, a sack fumble by Gary Baxter. They later found out that Maddox had a torn ligament and tendon damage in his elbow, which set him aside for 6 weeks. So, being drafted 11th overall, just, a couple months earlier, here it is, game 2. He's thrust in it. And guys, he never looked back.
No.
Now they didn't win the game, but he turned around and he started the Tornado Bowl the next week against Miami. And what would we go that season? I mean,
15-1, baby.
Yeah,
there you go.
Think about this too. As a rookie starter, I believe, I don't know the order of the games. I don't recall it off the top of my head, but they played a 7-0 and an 8-0 team. It was the Eagles and then New England, I believe, or vice versa. No problem. No problem at all. Rookie quarterback. Bill Belichick ate up rookie quarterbacks, right? Not Big Ben.
We beat him pretty handily too, if I remember correctly.
Yes, they did.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they did. What an amazing career. We don't need to harp on it too much. We all know how great he was.
Oh yeah, it was fun to kind of bring up, a little 3 or 4 minute segment. Your favorite memories. I mean, gosh, there's probably, we could pull one up every week for the next couple years.
Yeah,
no doubt. But fun stuff to look back on, and as time wears on, honestly, I hope we don't miss them a whole lot, but we will miss them, no doubt.
It's definitely going to be shell shocking.
This is going to be my prediction. This is a Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers transition, baby. Put it in the books.
There you go. Well, hey, before we get into our next segment and hop outside the realm, hey, make sure to check out our new Facebook Steeler group at Steelers Nation Local number 724, where we're representing the 724 area code, which if you guys look on a map, it's pretty much everything outside of Allegheny County and southwestern Pennsylvania into central PA. So we got you covered out there. Stop out, say hi. We got a great group of folks, members there, and it's growing day by day. Steelers Nation Local number 724 on Facebook groups, man. Check them out.
Yeah,
what do you think, guys?
Post something.
Yeah, post what your thoughts are. Who's your favorite player? Who are you rooting for? Who you pulling for this off season?
Give us an underdog who you think is going to make a difference this year on the
there
team.
You go.
Could be an undrafted free agent. It could be a backup. Could be anyone. Let us know. We'd love, and you know what? We'd love to hear your opinion, and we could easily talk about it here, give you a shout out, all that stuff.
Sure. Hey, well, we're giving shout outs too. CJ, tell us about the new edition Steelers Realm podcast. SteelersRealm.com.
So, we're launching a little blog here. We want to create a nice little community where people can interact, share their Steelers opinions, big, small, no matter what. Just kind of threw something out about Steelers training camp. Just kind of use my own little personal opinion on why it's huge for the Steelers to go back to Latrobe, stay in those dorm rooms and bond together, especially with how young that offense is, with a rookie quarterback potentially going in there. Give it a read. Let us know what you think. It's something that we're going to be introducing on a serious note. And then also we're going to have a little fun with, the shit stain of the week who shit themselves on Sunday and blew it. We're going to have fun. Let us know what you think. Reach out. You have any ideas that you want written about, researched, let us know.
Pretty awesome, man. Great story out there too regarding training camp.
I'm excited to get back. I know we've kind of talked about that before, but won't we take a step outside the realm here? What do you guys think?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
All right. So the Seattle Seahawks might be up for sale, but they might not be. Right? Jody Allen, owner, indifferent. This is going to be a Bezos-owned team, probably by next year at this time. My guess.
Really?
It's going to be at least, I could see him dropping $4 million on it. I mean, the Waltons continue to buy everything up.
Right. Yeah. I think the estimated value of it right now is 3.5.
Yes.
So, but the Broncos had just sold for more than what they were projected, and it's just going to go up from there. And I agree with you, CJ. I think it's definitely possibly a Jeff Bezos team. Somebody along the.
I mean, it's right in his alley. It's in Seattle. It makes too much sense.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now there's something that's a little different, something we've never seen before, something that I think is actually very important. So the Raiders hire Sandra Douglas Morgan. She's going to be the first Black woman to serve as organization's team president. She's the former chair of the Nebraska Gaming Board. She's very qualified for this position, and congrats on her to being named for this.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my question is, while she was the former chairwoman of the Nevada Gaming Board, does that worry you a little in being named the Las Vegas team president?
No, I don't think so. No. I think she's, like you said, she's well qualified for the position, and it's good to see that minorities being able to be in these positions, and especially minority women involved in the operations of professional football. So, yeah, I think she's an excellent fit, and being part of that Nevada gaming, that doesn't worry me at all.
It rose my eyebrows a little bit, just enough to a little skepticism there. It's interesting. Very interesting. And I'll leave it at that.
Very interesting. So it made history, though.
Mm-hmm.
First
Nothing like
female owner.
Good for her.
Yeah. Congratulations, man.
And you know what? Good for the Raiders for purging themselves after everything they went through last year.
Right. Yeah. Talk about a shitstorm.
Yeah.
Or a shit stain.
They would have made the Monday morning shit stain list. That's for damn sure.
Yeah. They're still trying to wash that one out, aren't they?
Yeah.
No doubt, boys. Well, hey, man, we're getting up against the clock here. What else was there? Seems to me there was something else we wanted to get out there too, but I don't know. I think we covered it all, guys, for the week. Plenty to take us up through our hour. So, but anyhow, hey, great hanging with you guys. Nice short week this week. Friday tomorrow. Well, you'll be hearing us tomorrow, but which will be today, right? Not to be confusing here, but
we're just time traveling here a little bit.
Yeah. We are.
Whatever day you listen to it, thank you.
Yeah, that'll be today. So, but anyhow, guys, hey, good to be with you. TA, safe travels out there, young man, and get home safe. Have a great weekend, everyone. Steeler Nation, careful in the hot tub. We'll see you down at training camp. Friday Night Lights on August 5th and Saturday at oh my gosh, at training camp.
I believe it's
St. Vincent's. We'll be there. So we'll see you next time, guys. Say goodnight. Arrivederci.
Adios, amigos.
Go Buccos.
Check back next week into the Steelers Realm.